Action.
Hey, I've been calling. You just disappeared.
Do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail. I can't sleep. I can't
Okay.
think.
Go home. Take a break.
I'm supposed to be in charge. People are looking to me for answers, and I don't know what to tell them anymore.
Yeah, but you're doing an incredible job. Where's all this coming from?
What do you think?
Look, it's not your fault.
I knew some of the staff were going to get sick. We're on the front line. It was just a matter of time. Even though we took all the necessary precautions,
Yeah.
we were always going to be vulnerable. I just didn't realize how many were going to get infected.
All you're doing now is...
Just how serious it was going to get.
All you're doing now is delaying the inevitable. We've had 3 months of tough calls. We've never shied away from a single one. Don't be the first.
Do you really think that's what I'm doing?
I don't. You tell me. You have an experienced ICU team out there waiting for you to call the family. You know the decision's been made, right?
Everything's happening so fast. The situation's changing so fast. I just can't help thinking about treatments, new treatments in trials.
Cure for cancer? When Duffy reached the end, I didn't... I had a whole medical team around me just telling me it was over. And I didn't hear it. I was just, what do we do next? What's the plan? I kept saying it. Do you remember it? Yeah. And you told me you were sorry. Dylan, he put it to me straight. He understood the need for that. A catastrophic bleed, I think he said. And I'm experienced enough to read between those lines. She was gone. She was gone. It was over. So any delay now is about you, not about the patient. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you some space.
Okay, lovely stuff. To come back in, I'm tempted to go straight back into it, but I just want to cover stuff. So stay with it, both of you. Keep that. That's your minimum level now, where you're both at. But I want to say a couple of things in terms of pace.
Yeah.
But the pace comes from the busyness of the hospital. It comes from, you know, these people have no time. And they're constantly, you know, they walk past and say, "Doctor, can you get me a cup of tea, please?" And then, yeah, I'll be back in a minute. And, you know, there's all sorts of things, people asking stuff all the time. Even though this is a bit of an oasis where you're at, and, you know, but it's still, there's still more pace. And I think that the beat changes can be quicker. You say single one, don't be the first is the beat change there.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about something and then you're saying it to her. Then you're saying something to her.
Yeah.
And then it's the same with cure for cancer. You have to get something from Maya. There has to be a reaction from them to him, an immediate reaction for him to change what, you know, for him to move, to pivot, and to realize he shouldn't have said something, or he should explain it further, or whatever it is. And the speed of that part, then after that, Jimmy, comes from the connection with the story. I'm not sure you've got Dylan and the catastrophic bleed, etc. clearly enough.
No.
Because that's what slows it down. And it's an interesting, you know, it's an interesting, because I do this a lot. Some people speed up when they don't connect with it, and some people slow down when they don't connect with it.
Yeah.
But when we do connect with it, it just all takes care of itself, and it's easier to tweak the pace.
Yeah.
So that's it, really. That's the notes I've got now. Just go from there. And silly thing, Jimmy, very, very silly, pathetic thing is the face mask is good, but don't stick it in your pocket.
No.
I'd be amazed if a doctor stuck a face mask in his pocket.
Yeah.
Well, he could do, but it just didn't seem.
They wouldn't. It's true.
So really, really breathe into you, Maya. You know, if you need to sort of do some heavy breathing, panting, just to get you wherever I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but and you've been running up the corridor, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Having left some life and death scenario and moved into another one. You've got another one on it, you know, you've got 3 minutes to get another life and death scenario sorted, etc.
Yeah. I've been calling you. You just disappeared.
I can't do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail. I can't sleep. I can't think.
Let's see what happens, Maya, if you take all the space out. I'm not saying speed up, because that's not really what I'm saying. I am saying that, but I'm also not saying that. Let's just say that take out your brain is going really, really quickly. I can't sleep. I can't do this. There's that. People are expecting me to fail. I can't do this. Then there's that. Then there's this. You know, this is, you know what it's like when we're thinking we're thinking really fast. The words are coming out riding on top of how fast you're thinking. So be thinking it before he comes in. Bam, 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 bam.
I've been calling you. You just disappeared.
I can't do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail. I can't sleep. I can't think. I can't do anything.
Take a break. Go home.
I'm supposed to be in charge. People are looking to me for answers, and I just don't know what to tell them anymore.
Okay. Listen, you're doing an incredible job. Where is this coming from?
Where do you think?
Look, this is not your fault.
Oh, I knew the staff were going to get sick. Some of them. We're on the front line. It was just a matter of time.
Okay, good. This is very good. We're just doing little tweaky little bits, in a way directorially. And you, it feels like you can't drop what is it? I knew this would happen. People were going to get sick. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I knew this would happen. People were going to get sick. So the energy keeps building rather than dropping with those three things. You know, they're definites. We're on the front line. They're powerful, punchy things, not one thing, then another thing. It's not a list as such. It's a stairway.
So where do you want to go from?
Top. I always like to go from the top because then it gives a real good run in.
Okay.
Hey, I've been calling you. You just disappeared.
I can't do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail. I can't sleep. I can't think anymore. I can't.
Go home and take a break.
I'm supposed to be in charge. People are looking to me for answers, and I just don't want to tell them anymore.
You did an incredible job. Where is this coming from?
What do you think?
This is not your fault.
I knew some of the staff were going to get sick. We're on the front line. It was just a matter of time. Even though we took all the necessary precautions, we were always going to be vulnerable.
Do you feel the so you feel the difference there, Maya? Just
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I think, generally look out for that stuff. About building on something rather than listing it out. So stay with it, but I think also yeah, let's just go from the top again. Yes.
I've been calling you. You just disappeared.
I can't do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail. I can't sleep. I can't think.
Okay,
I can't.
Go home and just take a break.
I'm supposed to be in charge. People are looking to me for answers, and I just don't know what to tell them anymore.
It's been an incredible job. Where is this coming from?
What do you think?
But this is not your fault.
I knew some of the staff were going to get sick. We're on the front line.
So what happened there, Maya, is, as I was going to mention it before, is you're letting go the steam of it when you let out these little sighs. These.
Okay.
So rather than building it up like a pressure cooker, you're letting the energy out, and that's when it drops. And it's you doing it, not the character doing it. I think it might be because you're thinking of the line as opposed to telling the story.
So the answer is?
The answer is stop going.
Okay. Okay.
Connie. I've been calling you. You just disappeared.
I can't do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail. I can't sleep. I can't think. I can't do anything.
Okay, go home. Just go home and just take a break.
I'm supposed to be in charge. People are looking to me for answers. I just don't know what to tell them anymore.
You're doing an incredible job. Where is this coming from?
Where do you think?
But this is not your fault.
I knew some of the staff were going to get sick. We're on the front line.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time. Even though we took all the necessary precautions,
Yeah.
we were always going to be vulnerable. I just didn't realize how many would get infected.
Yeah, but all you're doing now is you're delaying the inevitable. We have had 3 months of tough calls, and we never shied away from a single one.
Okay, so this Jimmy, it feels to me again, this could be an opportunity for a slight shift. You've had 3 months, whatever the line. What is the line? You've had 3 months to.
We've had 3 months of tough calls, like making tough decisions.
Because you come in with a certain persuasive way of saying go home. Da, 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 da. It feels like there might be room for a change here. Look, just to become more, maybe to become more considerate.
Yeah.
So I think it's looking for the shade, the light and shade in it all.
Yeah.
And I think again, the speed of thought at the beginning. And I know you're working on notes as well, so you're going to be conscious about what you're doing. So don't worry about that. We'll do a version at the soon where I'll just get out of the way and you'll just do it.
She was just here, literally. Connie. Where's? I've been calling. You just disappeared.
I can't do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail. I can't sleep. I can't think. I can't do anything.
Go home and just take a break.
I'm supposed to be in charge. People are looking to me for answers, and I just don't know what to tell them anymore.
You're doing an incredible job. Where is this coming from?
Where do you think?
But this is not your fault.
I knew people were going to get sick. The staff were going to get sick. We're on the front line. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Even though we took all the necessary precautions, we were always going to be vulnerable. I just didn't realize how serious it was going to get and just how many people would get infected.
All you're doing now is delaying the inevitable. We've had 3 months of tough calls, and we have not shied away from a single one of them. Don't be the first.
Do you really think that's what I'm doing?
You tell me. You have an experienced ICU team out there, and they're just waiting for you to call the family. You know the decision's been made, right?
But the situation is changing so fast. I can't stop thinking about new treatments in trials.
And a cure for cancer. Sorry, just... You know when Duffy reached her end, I had a whole team, a whole medical team surrounding me, and they were all telling me it was over, and I just didn't listen. I was just, what do we do next? What's the plan? And I just kept saying it. Do you remember? You told me you were sorry. And Dylan, he told me, he just told it to me straight. He understood the need for that. And a catastrophic bleed, I think he said. And I'm experienced enough to know what that means to read between those lines. she was gone. It was over. So any delay now is about you, not about the patient. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll give you some space.
Okay, let's go straight in again.
Yeah, Connie, yes. I don't know. No, Connie. I've been calling you. You just disappeared.
I can't do this. I can't. People are waiting for me to crack, expecting me to fail.
Yeah.
Can't sleep. I can't think.
Yeah.
I can't.
Just go home. Just go home. Take a break.
I'm supposed to be in charge. People are looking to me for answers, and I just don't know what to tell them anymore.
But you're doing an incredible job. Where is this all coming from?
Where do you think?
But this isn't your fault.
Our staff are always going to get sick. Some of them. It was just a matter of time. We're on the front line.
Yeah.
Even though we took all the necessary precautions, we were always going to be vulnerable. I just didn't realize how many would get infected and just how serious it was going to get.
Yeah. All you're doing now is delaying the inevitable. We've had 3 months, tough calls, and we have not shied away from a single one of them. Don't be the first.
Do you really think that's what I'm doing?
You tell me. You have an experienced ACU team out there, and they're just waiting for you to call the family. You know the decision's been made, right?
The situation is changing so fast. I can't stop thinking about new treatments and trials.
What, a cure for cancer? When Duffy reached the end, I had a whole medical team around me telling me it was over, and I did not listen. I was just, what do we do next? What's the plan? I kept saying it. Do you remember it? And you told me you were sorry. And Dylan, he told me it's straight. He understood the need for that. And a catastrophic bleed, I think is what he said. And, I'm experienced enough to read between those lines. And it was over. She was gone. Any delay now is just is about you. It's not about the patient. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll give you some space.
Lovely. Thank you. What's that like, Maya?
Yeah, I could see. I could see the difference. I
How
feel
come?
the.
Yeah. So what? How come then? What was?
I tend to kind of like do the outward thing, like the, all that sort of thing. But I need to find a different way, because it's almost like when you're doing a speech, then you're saying and ah a lot. So it's like trying to remove those external fillers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and to find a different way of showing those, because it's more like showing the result by going all that sort of thing. It's showing the result, isn't it, rather than so something to be aware of.
Yeah, and you did a great job with that. I mean, really, very good.
Thank you. But yeah, it's all going back to what you said a couple of weeks ago, is connecting to the material. And that maybe the teacher thing I didn't quite understand the things, whereas with this one I went into more depth, and it was more relatable, because we've experienced it in different ways, so it's kind of easier to connect with the material, maybe.
And I think that the key then, if you want a long and varied career, is to find a way to connect with all material, as much material as possible.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, very good, Jimmy.
Yeah, it was really. I feel relieved that it turned out well in the end. It was very high stakes. It felt the more times we did it, the more important it felt. I found myself calling your name and talking on the phone and telling people I couldn't find her out in the hallway. And yeah, my feeling was just that it's about bravery, isn't it? Acting. I mean, it really is about being kind of floating around in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what you're going to say next. You don't know what they're going to say next. And you have to be so brave to drop any preconceptions about how it's going to go and what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. And a few times in that scene, I really felt myself do that. And I saw Maya do it as well. I saw it in her eyes. We just sort of dropped into this, oh, fucking hell, this is this real? Like almost a bit scary, like, whoa, it feels like there's no support net when that happens. And then it just happens. And that is what I want to, that's the kind of actor I want to be more of.
I think it's not anticipating each other's lines and actually trying to listen as if it's the first time, isn't it? It's that. And it was different every time we practiced it.
Yeah. And it's not a case of trying either. It's just a case of doing it. And it's a case of, of not having lines, of just trusting that they're all going to, by some magical scientific thing, these words that you learned yesterday appear in your creative juice today.
Yes. But the interesting thing about that is it's almost like, not, maybe substitute's not the right word, but I feel like that's where the environment, where you are, what's happening, the details, who you're talking about. When I was talking about Duffy, and that clicked, that sparked something, and then I was just talking about it. So you can't just drop the lines and then kind of be a blank page, can you? You need this information to already be in you, this kind of your memories and your relationships and the place. These things are just, they're like your bread and butter really in acting, aren't they? They're the things you need to get in before you do a scene, so that it's there waiting for you to talk about them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not going to ask what's one thing you're taking from today because I think you've kind of answered that. Is there anything you want to add before I stop the recording?
What did you think, Daniel?
Well, what you just said. I thought it was very, very good.
Oh, cool.
The light and shade is really important. I think you'll be able to see the moments where it just flowed and the undulations just happened. The variety weren't playing my notes anymore. You were talking to each other, and when you really did talk to each other and stopped and listened properly to each other, then everything took care of itself because you had set stuff up.
Yeah.
I think you'll be happy with it when you see it.
I think, like from a casting perspective, like you were talking about Ben talking about the beat changes and how important they are to kind of create drama so that there's a change between the beginning and the end. Then it's kind of like, do you have to keep one eye on the beat change to make sure you kind of
No, you don't,
can
because
you let that take care of itself?
Terry, you've already dealt with that when you read it. Part of the 5% of your brain is going, here's the beat change, but it's not the loudest part of your brain. The loudest part of your brain is the character's thought at that stage.
Yeah.
It's the quiet little actor thought going, here, here's that part. Just make sure you honor it. But you're not doing it. You're not taking capacity out to do that. It's just happening.
Yeah. I get you.
And I was looking at Maya there, thinking there's no reason why you couldn't play that part. And if it was casting, it was a casting, I would be looking at you thinking, do I want her to go with the guy, or do I want a blonde, or I was in terms of the acting side of it, I was thinking in a casting, are they they're looking for beat changes and stuff. They're looking for somebody who understands how to read a script. Like if you were going up for a series regular, particularly, or at a casting, they're just looking to see that you can handle it, that you know what you're doing, which is why you need to keep practicing it. People who don't practice and go to a casting and they're racked with self-doubt, or am I doing it right, or what am I doing? All these unnecessary and helpful things pop in. But this was two people come, you could do this, and then we'll get a couple of others completely different to come in and do the same scene. And then we're not choosing which one's the better actor, we're choosing which one can fit in with the cast that we've got best.
Yeah.
And it's not about you.
Yeah.
Which takes the
I
pressure
do
off.
feel though doing these, it just the last, I mean, how many now? 3? I even feel the difference already, just in terms of confidence, in terms of making choices, and
then what happens, Maya, is you become more confident as a person, which allows it just continually moves, it continually builds and grows. And it stretches out into your private life, which comes back into your business life.
I was saying to my husband today after we'd been practicing, Jimmy, that I definitely feel a shift. I definitely feel a bit more like there's meat to the bones appearing.
Well, I don't know you that well, but I know that my feeling, I've never thought about it, but my feeling now, looking back, is that you were more concerned about it than you are now. I think you're happy to do the work rather than think what your technique is and thinking your way through. And so I think there was more. When you get, you've just bought my book, so when you get to the inner actor, inner character chapter, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think that before you were thinking more as an actor, and now today definitely thinking more as a character. And we were able to play around with tweaking and tuning and stuff more than get out your own way. If I gave you a note, you kind of just did it. rather than trying to work out why am I saying that.
So do you feel like I'm getting out my own way more?
Yes.
That I'm doing it. Good, because that's what I was, that's what I feel. I feel like I'm getting out my own way and I'm just getting on with it now.
Yeah,
And it feels good. It feels quite freeing, actually.
That's what I just said, isn't it?
Yeah. I was just reflecting back at you. I'm just making sure I've understood you right.
What's pretty mad as well is that me and Maya, we rehearsed this kind of like a cold read on, when was it? Monday or Tuesday? Monday. And then this morning we rehearsed, we did about 3 runs. And you really looked the part. You embodied it. I think you read the whole script, didn't you?
Mm.
And I can see that on you now, and I think that's what Daniel's saying about it, looking at you thinking, oh, who would we put her with? Because you look so castable, because I think you've just embodied it. It's so cool to see that, and I think you've kind of set the bar quite high with the amount of work you've done for this class. I feel pretty inspired by it, because it pays off when you work hard.
Yeah, be prepared for little steps back, big steps forward, but it can be smooth, but it's not always smooth.
No.
It's a never-ending, growing lava flow.
So thank you for saying that. I really appreciate you saying that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
No, it's cool to see. It's good.